Hey crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John and happy Sunday, happy Monday Eve. Um, Not sure, just I guess depends on your attitude, your mood, and which part of the country you are in. So I am up in Shady Pines this weekend. It has absolutely been beautiful weather here. I was really kind of surprised because I know they're still getting kind of in the 90s up here, but not so bad. Very cool in the morning in the low 60s. And so I was able to go for a walk last night and actually enjoyed sitting out in the screened-in porch for a little bit, realizing that just nothing to do on the screened-in porch. So I need to figure out like a TV setup or some of that. But we'll get to that. We'll figure all that out. But thanks for joining my live this afternoon. And as always, Russ, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hey, Judy. Thanks for dropping in. There's Katrina, Jean, Judy. Hey, Vera. And oh my gosh. All right. Sorry. I am still trying to figure out how I want to set up. So every time you see me do a live up here, you probably get to see different parts of the park home because I'm still trying to figure out like just how to make this setup work. It just doesn't feel natural like it does at the main house. Rain's Whisper Lynn says, hello, John, and everyone in the live. Happy Sunday. So crazy. Hey, Sally, thanks for being here. Look, and she did not forget. She remembered me. How cool is that? Glenda, thanks for dropping in. Hey, Stephanie, welcome. Thanks for being here. And Dale, thanks for dropping in. So we're still doing greetings. I haven't even done the first thing yet, and we're 3 minutes into the live. So why don't we talk about some things that's going on? Look, Vera says she's working on binding for 2 quilts. How awesome is that? Because that means not only did she get the quilt top done, which I am doing a really good job of knocking out some quilt tops. Next thing is I got to get them quilted. And then the problem is once you quilt them, then you still got to trim the silly things, and then you got to put the binding on. But you know what? I started projects. If you all remember and have been around the channel, I started projects all the way back in January, February that I knew I wanted for Christmas of this year. And I did finally get the quilt tops done. But needless to say, now it's the middle of August and still don't have them quilted, let alone anything else. So Christmas is going to be here before you know it. And we are going to have to, I am going to have to get things going if I want to get anything done. Jeannie, thanks for being here. Hey, Brian, welcome in. Thanks for being with me tonight, this afternoon. So let's talk about, this was absolutely a crazy work week for me. Just had all kinds of crazy things going and back and forth and that. But you know, it is what it is. It's how I pay my bills, and that's how I get to do things like this and have fun. If you missed it yesterday, Katie and I on the Greenland Quilter had a live together. It was a little over 2 hours. The cool thing is I did the gold medal pattern. Yes, again, it's a Villa Rosa pattern, so I know, shock. But I did the Villa Rosa pattern yesterday. It was a kit that I actually had purchased. And so I got that done. There's a really good picture of it out on my Facebook page. So if we're not Facebook, if you don't subscribe to the Guys Craft 2 Facebook page, you can, and you'll get a better shot. But overall, I really like this. I don't know what to call this. I don't call it, it's not, you know, to me, it's almost more fall because it's in those maroon colors and that. And, but I just, overall, I think it turned out really cute. Very happy with it. The completed size for this is 42 by 52. Like I said, it's the Villa Rosa gold medal pattern, which always reminds me of gold medal flower. That's what I remember growing up with. Interesting enough, I already had a Christmas quilt cut out up here that I wanted to work on. Then I got here and decided I would cut this out instead and work on this. I just wanted to do something not Christmas or Valentine or Halloween for a change, and ended up working on this and then trying to figure out what I wanted to sew on and work tonight while we were all together. I decided, well, let me go see the other one that I've got cut out. And oh my gosh, it's another gold medal pattern, but it is all in Christmas fabrics. So you will probably see me sewing and working on that next time we're up here. It's been laying over there all cut out for over a month. And so I need to get it stitched as well. At some point, one of the things I really would like to do when I get some downtime is go through my patterns. So if you know, Villa Rosa does have an app. You can go on the app and you can tell it the patterns that you own or the patterns that you would like to get. The problem is if you already own a pattern, it just lets you keep saying you own it. So it doesn't say like, I know for a fact I've got 2 of these. So I would like to, at some point, offload a few of these duplicates in that. I may end up doing just, we'll do a drawing at some point or a raffle, maybe once we hit 1,000. I may do either, man, my mind just went blank. May end up just raffling off the cards and just mailing those out, or I may actually grab some fabrics out of my stash and do a like a fabric kit with the pattern. So we'll see, but we'll figure out what that looks like. But you know, the closer we get to 1,000, the more exciting it is. So I definitely want to make sure that we celebrate and have a good time about that. All right, that said, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in tonight. Sally says she finally got her patterns from Villa Rosa. She said it took about 10 days. I don't do pattern downloads. I get that. Unless you've got your computer set up, a printer set up, preferably a color printer and all that, it's probably easier to just get the patterns. I did download the pattern that we're going to work on together. If I run across it at some point at a store or something, I will probably buy it because I do like their little stiff cards. So totally get that, Sally. All right, let's see. So Dale says Sally has ordered patterns too. I bet you Dale meant he has ordered the same patterns. So he is probably working on some stuff as well. So Greenland Quilter, Katie and I had a really good time yesterday. We were together for, like I said, a couple of hours. I managed to get that entire quilt top done. I did realize there's a few fabrics that ended up together, and that's because after I stitched out all the strips, I just went back and did the combination of the strips. More reason why the step in between should have been me putting them, laying them out at least on a bed or something, a design wall, and making sure what those were going to look like so I didn't end up with a couple of fabrics very close together. It is what it is. It's done. I'm not unhappy with it. It's just I would have probably moved a few of those fabrics around, but it is what it is. So we will learn to live with that. Judy's here. Hey, Judy, finish up my stained glass cross quilt top. Oh, I bet that is beautiful. And that's one of the things, folks, guys, if you all are on the Facebook page and on the Guys Craft 2 Facebook page, I would love to see you all start posting some of the works that you're doing so we can share and see what each of us has done. That would be amazing. Katrina says, my son gave me a new printer for Christmas. My old printer finally ran out of ink in August. And I tell you what, it's just, the printers aren't so bad. It's the ink to replace them. It's just gotten, I don't know. I swear, I think it's a racket is what I mean. Lord, it used to be, I'm old enough, I remember we used to play the long distance game, right? And so I remember at one point I had Sprint, I had AT&T, and I had old Ma Bell, MCI, because somebody was always calling me to give me a better deal if I'd switch to them. And I swear, I think ink has become that way with these printers. It's just so crazy. Sally says she was surprised it took 10 days since they're from Missouri to Northern California. Tell you what, you depended on the government and the postal service. You just don't know. Just be happy you got them, right? Dale says he likes that they include shipping and it doesn't end up twice as much as when you start it. Oh, I didn't realize that. Because see, of course, I do the subscription, so that's where I've always gotten mine. So I didn't realize that they're not adding a bunch of postage on top of that. Yeah, like I've said, I think for what you get, the value is just there. Everybody knows I'm a fan, so I'm not even going to make any excuses for it, but it is what it is. All right. So that was one thing I want to talk about, was the chatty time that I had with Katie yesterday. Russ and I released our announcement this morning. So if you have not seen it, don't know where you could possibly be, but if you have not seen it yet, Russ and I will be doing a sew-along Labor Day weekend. We are going to sew together on both channels. So typically, Russ goes live on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's his 11Z's show. I will be on that show. We will be stitching Tibet, T-I-B-E-T, a Villa Rosa pattern, because yes, Russ let me pick the pattern, because we know John's not up to his flying geese and some of his stuff. And if you have not seen the quilt that he just did for his local quilt shop, it is absolutely amazing. The colors are gorgeous. It was just all is all I can say. So, but we will be stitching out Tibet together. He picked his own fabrics. I think he picked kitty cat fabrics, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the video announcing it. I, of course, picked Christmas ones, but I actually cheated because I'd already bought a kit that had the Tibet pattern with some of the fabrics. So I'm cheating and doing that. I would show that to you, but that's back down in the valley. I didn't bring it up this weekend. I should have. So I've made a note to make sure I don't forget it when I come back, because I left it down there because I need to cut the fabrics. And I can cut the fabrics up here, but I much prefer to cut the fabrics at the house. So it's down there, and I will get those cut before I come back up here for Labor Day. Russ says, I just heard my name, but I'm on the phone. I hope you're talking bad about me. You know, I bet Stephanie and there's a few of us that could tell good Russ stories. And maybe one show we'll just make about let's swap stories. Brian says Russ picked the Disco Cats. Thank you. I thought it was cats. It seems like he's been doing a lot of cats, or cats are just everything I'm seeing right now. But yes. Hey, Deb, the Pug Mama Quilter. Welcome in. Thanks for being here tonight. All right, so that's Russ and I. So he will be doing, we'll do an hour or so on his show, just like always, August 31st. That's a Saturday. His will be at 11 a.m. Eastern. Mine will be on Sunday. The only thing we did do was adjust my time an hour earlier because East Coast does bump up. So my show on September 1st, Labor Day weekend, will be at 3 p.m. Arizona time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we purposely did that just to make sure that we have time to complete the project between the two shows and that we all get enough time together in that. So that could be a long weekend of, depending on your mood and your like and your tolerance for me, we could have a lot of fun and a lot of time together, because you'll have me with Russ on Saturday and again have me with Russ on Sunday. And then that takes us over to my Labor Day sew-along. And the Labor Day sew-along is another Villa Rosa pattern called Mazed. So if you want to do the sew-along and follow the same pattern that we're doing, I did pick the Villa Rosa. I picked it because it's very reasonable. It's $2. You can download it. Your local store may actually have this pattern. It is one of their newer patterns. I think it just came out in July. So it is a newer pattern. And I also picked this because it can be done completely with a jelly roll. So you need a 40 count jelly roll. Mine is exactly 40 count. The one I plan on doing is the Grinch. Come on, John, you can figure this out. The Grinch, and this one is called Grinchmas Color Story is the name of this one. It is a new jelly roll. It is was just released this year, and it was released like June, May, June. So it is the new jelly roll for Grinch this year. I did get that is my plan. I will be doing that with Mazed. I think it's really going to turn out to be a cute pattern. And again, like I said, sometimes I'm not always thrilled about the colors that they chose on here. I like this pattern. I just need something a lot more wild and woolly than what they're showing there, and that's fine. And then as I was walking out the door to get ready to come up here, I found this Moda Christmas one. Actually, I lied. Our local store called Bob's, which is kind of like an old thrift store, but they have a big sewing quilting section, was having 25% off all pre-cuts. So all charm packs, jelly rolls, layer cakes, and all those other things in between. Of course, I did not need any because I have dresser drawers full of all this stuff. But I had to go look anyways, and I did end up buying another one. I really liked this one. It is the Moda, and I don't see the name on here, but it is more of that traditional Christmas one with more of the holly and the berries and the dark greens and the reds and all that. And so I grabbed this because I thought I have not stitched this mazed pattern. At this point, I plan on just doing it live with you and Russ. But if I need to, I can I may try to stitch it before the show and that. So we'll see. Oh, so hopefully you're seeing Nightbot says, remember to give me a thumbs up, please. I am hoping you're seeing Nightbot. Poor Russ tried to help me the other day to make sure I had the settings right. And I am hoping that I have finally got Nightbot working. If you have a channel and I know about it, I have tried to put in Nightbot so you all could reference your channel. I know it's !Russ for Quilt Meets World. For Stephanie's channel, it's !Stephanie. So hopefully Nightbot is going to work this time, especially since poor Russ tried to tutor me. So if not, we'll just keep trying again. Stephanie says, Russ's story, he's the best friend and there for you when you need him. So far, he has been. He's been amazing to me. So hopefully Russ will get on that plane and be to QuiltCon in February. So I'm hoping to get to meet a bunch of folks at QuiltCon this year, especially since I'm spoiled and it's going to be local for me. So that will be nice. If you're planning to come to QuiltCon, we'll probably start talking about that the first of the year and try to see if we can't figure out a place that we can all join up and just say hi to each other. The plan is, I think, next year in 2026, I want to do Road to California. So I'll probably do Road to California versus doing QuiltCon in Raleigh in 2026. But that way I get to have lunch with Sally, because I think Sally lives pretty close to QuiltCon, if I remember correctly. Sally says, I really like maize. I'm going to use a background fabric so the jelly roll will go further. That makes sense. And, you know, it's funny. I have bought one white jelly roll. So it's just 40 white strips. Really, one day when I'm just bored, I'd really like to get the AccuQuilt cutter out and just cut some black, probably black and white strips, just so I have them, because I think I could just see using those a whole lot more. Trina says, I am too. I bought ethereal for my jelly roll and navy for my contrast. See? Yeah, so that's what worries me. I don't have a contrast for this, so I may end up needing to end up using a white or something with it. Hmm. All right, folks, y'all making me ponder and think about things. So I will try to figure that out. Oh, and Katrina says, don't forget that the third Saturday in September is Sell a Jelly Roll Day. So I did not know that. See, I'm still new enough. I'm still trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. So, So Day with me is on Labor Day. It is 8 a.m. Arizona time, which constantly changes because Arizona is the only state that never changes hour clocks, which you would think is amazing, but it's not as much fun as you think because at the end of the day, everybody else changes. So right now, it's 3 hours difference for us for Eastern. And as soon as you all fall back, all of a sudden Eastern is only 2 hours different. So you're still constantly calculating different times in your head depending on the time of year it is. Oh, Katrina says, sort my strips into light and darks, and I should be fine. I'm hoping, but I know it's a very busy pattern. But I guess what I really need to do is open it and see what all is in there. Yes, and see, Sally says, yes, lunch or dinner when I come to Road to California. See, Sally's amazing. We'll have such a good time. All right, so that's the Labor Day sew along. I am planning to sew tonight, folks. I do at least have the machine out and have the machine on. What else? Oh, so if you don't know, Stephanie does a lot of cool retreats. I am behind the 8 ball, and I missing out on her retreats. I know they sell out super, super fast. I know she is doing a retreat for New Year's Eve because Russ and I talked about it, and I know Russ is planning to be there. I will not be this year because it's sold out. But I have decided because Stephanie videoed her recent retreat over at Stitch in Heaven. And Stitch in Heaven is having a 5-day New Year's Eve retreat. And so I am planning to fly down to Texas and spend New Year's Eve with whoever shows up down there. Part of what they are doing is on New Year's Eve. They are actually doing Death by Chocolate. So you can't go wrong, right? I mean, chocolate is chocolate is chocolate. One of the happiest days of my life is when one of the companies I work for, we used to have our HR conference every year in Hershey at the Hershey Hotel. And you talk about some amazing chocolate desserts and just fun. So anyway, so I will be at that retreat for New Year's Eve. It actually starts on New Year's Eve and runs through January 4th. So if you're still trying to figure out what you might want to do for New Year's Eve, that is an option. It's not, it's pretty cost effective, actually. It wasn't very expensive considering you get 2 meals a day plus your room. Katrina says, I can't, or Sally says, the Katrina O Fund may be on a road trip late September. Katrina says, I can't wait to fall back. Then Gabby will be back on her schedule, and crossing my fingers, I won't be getting up with her at 5 a.m., right? I tell you, it does make all the difference sometimes. Stephanie says, also, you'll meet my friends Rob, Marcia, and Donnie. See? So they need to give you credit, Stephanie, because that's what helped motivate me. They've got a gorgeous retreat center. Your video was amazing. Thanks for doing that. Because as a content creator that's nowhere near some of you out there, I know what it takes to put these together. I rearranged this room 6 times today in the last hour. So it does take us a lot of time sometimes to put those together. All right. Today I am working on Daybreak. So again, I decided just to kind of skip around. I wanted to do something different. This, as you can tell, is done with a charm pack. So I thought it might be fun just to knock out a charm pack this evening. And so I am going to do that. I actually don't mind the picture on this one. So compared to some of the others that they do, I do think it's a pretty, they did a nice choice on that. But again, I cheated, as you all are getting used to, and I actually bought this as a kit. But it's a interesting kit. I should have kept the name of the charm pack, but I didn't. But I will show you a couple of the charms as I get ready to start sewing them. It's kites. So it's all in the blues, yellows, almost coral colors. So look at the colors that are on here. The yellow, that pistachio green. I don't know what blue to call that because it's not a navy, but it is a darker blue. Then they've got the lighter blue. Then they've got that coral color. I thought it was just really a cute charm pack. So I grabbed that tonight so I would have something to work on, because I know you all just go, man, how does he just run his mouth that much and just never gets anything done? And I have been really happy lately. It seems like I've been knocking out a lot of projects and slowly getting there. I will tell you, one of the more difficult things is getting used to bouncing around sewing machines. And so I am trying to get used to that. So I sew with my Juki right now down in the valley. And now up here I'm sewing with the Bernina. And it is just amazing, the differences between the two. And I'll be honest, for straight stitching, I'm in love with my Juki now that I've gotten used to it. The speed, the accuracy, the stitch quality. I know people love Berninas, and that's fine. Everybody's allowed to love the machine that they like. But I have definitely, in the last 2 years, been around the circuit, and I have tried enough to know what works for me. And I think that's the real key, is before you really make the investment, make sure you spent time at your local quilt shops and that, and really tested and tried the machines, and make sure you understand what they are selling you. I definitely wish, for the money that I've spent, that some of that I had back in machines, especially some of the bigger, more powerful machines. All right, let's see what's going on. Katrina says she pulled a jelly roll that was on sale earlier this year to set aside for the Jelly Roll Day. Look at you. Hey. And hey, Melissa, welcome in. Thanks for being here tonight. All right, I think I'm caught up. And Katrina's working on, looks like a baby quilt. So, it's just about understanding the machines that you like, understanding what's going on. I would be curious, when you all think about stitching and patterns, do you prefer pre-cuts, or would you prefer, to cut your own fabrics and do your own thing? Because I kind of find that I like the pre-cuts, but I find out a lot of times I don't know that they're all that great to work with. I don't know. It's I'm still getting used to it, especially with some of these charm packs and that. And I find that a lot of them are just a mess, right? They just make a mess any and everywhere. So what are your thoughts? Pre-cuts, yes, or pre-cuts, I can live without them. I do find them convenient, but I also think about, well, you have the AccuQuilt. So with the AccuQuilt, you really need as many pre-cuts. And so I don't know that I'll be necessarily chasing pre-cuts as much, but we'll just see how it goes. Oh, Tibet, Sally. The pattern is Tibet. Tibet is the pattern that we chose. Jenny says, I prefer to do my own thing. I get that. My problem is standing in line. It's the patience to have get the fabric cut that I need. Brian says he likes to cut his own fabric. Katrina says pre-cuts a lot, jelly roll with a lint roller. Yes, and I just brought my lint roller, and thanks for mentioning that. That is such a cool trick and technique. So if you have not picked up a nice lint roller, when you open your jelly rolls, rolling that lint roller back and forth across the top and bottom really will help pull out a lot of those fuzzies. Because if not, those fuzzies all end up inside our machine, and that's just not where we want them. I can definitely tell sometimes what patterns, what things I've been working on just by when I go in to clean my machines out. All right, so let's take a look at, all right, so see this one is so cute because look at the blue and look at the kite. So I think that's a cute pattern. The diamonds with the yellows. And then you come back with flowers and the flower. Like I said, I wish I had kept the name of the charm pack for y'all, but I didn't. Yellow and the green. And then, of course, the kites. So I do think this ends up being a really cute pattern. And I think it's one that we can all have so much fun with. So the problem is I can find the patterns and I can find a lot of things. It's just finding the time to work on everything, right? I mean, it's just so crazy sometimes. Just so much out there and so much going on. Oh, Sally says she just looked at Villa Rosa and did not find Tibet. I have to go look for you again, Sally. I can look because I'm almost positive that Russ had to buy it because he did not have that pattern. So I'm surprised it's not listed out there on the website because I am almost positive he had to go buy it. So it should be out there. If not, that's going to be disappointing. And and there's really no reason nowadays for them to retire some of their patterns because you can always do the digital. And but I will definitely try to look for you to see if because it is a cute pattern and it's I think it's a fairly new pattern. I don't think it's been around all that long. Yes, and just by the way, I never sew this slow. It's just this Bernina frustrates me, and if I don't baby her a little bit, she likes to give me fits. So I've learned just to slow down. Plus, it sometimes gets noisy, even though I've got a noise canceling pad in that. With lives, I've noticed. I think it was Russ that told me, said, "Hey, sometimes it's the sewing machine will drown me out." Oh, Karen says she thinks it's only digital. Oh, I had no idea, Sally. I'm sorry about that. I did not. You just assume things, right? So it may be an older pattern, and that's why it is only digital. So I am sorry about that. I never even thought to look for something like that. Oh, there it is. Stephanie says, yeah, that particular pattern does only come digital. Of course, Russ has a link on his, because he's just the man. The print is out of stock. So if I will try to look to see if I actually have other copies. If so, I would be happy to drop one in the mail to someone if they need it. That's the problem too with being a subscriber to them. I have so many of their patterns that now I don't know when they are. Sally, also, if you have a quilt shop that's close that carries them, they actually may still have that pattern. I don't know how they rotate inventory in that when it comes to that kind of stuff. but that could be an option. All right, let's do this one next, right? Yeah, go this way. Guys, you all ought to be impressed that I'm doing this finger pressing and all and still getting this put together. So this is the center for that pattern. And I want you to know my seams are actually lining up. And you all have no idea how impressed I am with myself that I have actually started figuring out how to do that, because there's just so much when you first start and trying to get all this stuff to work, get things to line up. And it's like, I didn't think this was going to be as difficult as it is, but it is a real craft. It is a real skill. I mean, it's just amazing. All right, so let me finish the last row, and then I will show you all what the center is going to look like. And for me to finger press and sit here and do this is much more crazy than you think, because I am just, I don't know why. I know we all have different things. I absolutely do not bring fabric home and throw it in the washer and dryer. I've got friends at the Quilt Guild that do that. They would never think of, it's the first thing they do. When they buy new fabric, the first thing they do is go home and throw it in the washer. I'm just not doing that. I don't think it needs it, but that's my opinion. And by the way, I've only been doing this 2 years, so it is what it is, right? But I do iron a lot, and now I'm struggling with, at home I use my Laura Star. I love my Laura Star, and I steam everything. I have my old Rowenta that I thought about bringing up here, but it just seems so bulky. And I have the cordless Panasonic that I'm using up here, and I really like my cordless Panasonic, and it works so well up here. Yesterday, everything that I ironed, I did with no water, and I think Russ uses the same Panasonic, but he's actually taken the reservoir off his, which I'm not even sure how to do that, but he had taken his off, so it doesn't even look like the same iron. So I dry ironed everything yesterday, and then today filled it up with steam and steamed everything. So I can't even be consistent with how I'm doing that kind of stuff yet. But I don't know. I just like ironing everything in between, and it's just something I am so used to doing. It just seems to me to make your seams and everything just lay so much better, and just makes sense to me. I don't know why. No one told me I had to do that. I guess, some of it is just preference, and some of it's just habits that we get into. Yeah, Sally said she can do digital. She just doesn't prefer it. I get it. And by the way, if you notice, I've got my cards laying everywhere. Like I said, I did get the Mazed. I did download it digitally and printed it. And so it does print thicker, which is kind of nice, right? But I'll be honest, I still like my card. And when I find the card and get the card, I will replace that paper with it. Sally says she rarely washes her fabrics anymore. Thank you, Sally. See, I knew you're a kindred spirit with me. Katrina says you can get a seam roller if you don't want to get up and down every time. It's funny you said that, because I have one down in the valley. I don't think I've ever used it, but maybe once or twice. And so I keep a list on my cell phone. Come on. So I use my notes on my cell phone to say, what do I need to bring next trip? So next trip, I wanted to bring my Guys Craft 2 t-shirt. I bought a bunch of those 6-inch rulers because I love those 6-inch rulers. I bought like a dozen of them. They had them on Amazon for like $5 or something for a dozen. So I just put them everywhere. And of course, I didn't put any in the bin coming to the park home. I need charging cords. I need to make sure I bring the pattern and all that up for the sew along with Russ. And I put seam presser roller. And I thought, man, I hope I remember what that is when I get home. But it's funny you say that because I thought that would really be nice for me to have here. So I think, especially because I'm just have such limited space here. Hey, thanks, Stephanie, for being here today. Have a great week. So, look, I got the first 10 together, and I think these are going to be awesome. So, if you look, the pattern says you do the charms in the center, and then this charm pie, this one, what am I doing? Oh, so this is actually the border that they gave me to go around it. And then you do more charms. And then it's got a darker blue border that goes around it afterwards. And so that's the border that will end up all the way around it. And so I think this will be cute for a spring summer quilt. I am excited because I did get my Villa Rosa kit right before I left. So they just came out with a new one that's got like Hot Wheels. It's not Hot Wheels branded, but it's like the Hot Wheel cars and that. And my grandson is huge into Hot Wheels. There's two things that boy loves. It's Hot Wheels and Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, he loves Spider-Man. So even though I said I wasn't going to buy anything, yes, I ended up buying that because I knew he just had to have it. So I got that for him for Christmas, and now I've got to get that put together and done. And now I got to figure out what to make my granddaughter because she will not be happy that brother got a new quilt and she didn't. But it's more like a lap quilt, so it's not a big, huge quilt, and it's a panel, so it's not like it's going to take tons of time. But again, it's just something else to work on. Katrina says pretty fabric. Sally said I did a baby quilt years ago, very similar. I just thought this was too cute. You know, that's the one nice thing about buying kits sometimes, is you do run into different fabrics in that. And so you just never know. You may end up with things and fabrics that you would never have picked. So I enjoy sometimes the spice of life that comes with some of the kits in that. So we will see how those work out. What else is going on, folks? This week, I have to work all 5 days, of course. I'm hoping work is a little bit calmer than it has been the last couple of weeks. But the nice thing is I only have to work all of next week and then just a couple of days the following week, because I did take a couple of days vacation because I decided I wanted to run off to the park home. And I want to get up here for the holiday weekend before all them other crazy people in the flatlands try to get up to the mountains to be cool and, have their last big trip for the summer. So I am coming up a few days early, and it's just so relaxing when I get here. And right now, just need the mental break. So not sure how much mental break I'm going to end up with, because between doing the sew along with Russ and doing the Labor Day sew along, but sewing just relaxes me. Some people at work go, I just can't believe, like, you go home and you just knock out quilt tops and that. And I think that's the reason I'm doing right now. I've still got a lot of quilt tops going, is because I know I need to get on the long arm. I do plan to start using my long arm after Labor Day, but I think it just stresses me thinking about it, and I just don't want any more stress in my life, because I like doing my lives. I love you guys for being here and listening to me chat and rattle on. There's just so much going on, and just makes it really nice that I've got something that entertains me, keeps me out of trouble. That's why I really debated, like, I am one of those people that have to have something to do New Year's Eve. I'm not going to sit at home New Year's Eve. Last year, I had a big New Year's Eve party at my house, invited several couples and had a nice time. Did not want to do that this year. I've done Vegas a few times for New Year's Eve and some other cities. And I thought about doing San Francisco for New Year's Eve, but San Francisco is just cold in the wintertime, folks. And then I thought about doing Palm Springs. I really want to do Palm Springs sometime. And then I thought, maybe you should be good and try to do something sane and safe versus doing something crazy. So I did decide that I would do something sane and safe, and I am just going down to a quilting retreat. So if you all have not looked at the Quilting Retreat Center at Stitch in Heaven, you should at least look at it. It's amazing, the center that they put together. Stephanie did do an awesome video. She just went for an applique workshop retreat. I think it's the one she did. And she did such a nice job of showing off the center and that, and showing the crowd that was there and all of that. So really give her some love on her channel and make sure you're showing that. All right, let's see. Sally says those are pretty colors. Oh, Katrina says, I finished the embroidery Christmas tree and the Missouri Star cranberry and popcorn crochet garland for Mike's Christmas tree. How awesome is that? Look at all the things that you're knocking out, girlfriend. That is exciting. I know it's exciting. We love as we're getting projects done, and it is just amazing as we're able to see those things happen. So I'm trying to check to see if I can get Nightbot to work, because I'm seeing Nightbot on my side, but I'm not sure if you all are seeing it on your side. And so hopefully I just posted Russ's channel, and hopefully that popped up in the chat. So if you all saw that in the chat, you could give me a thumbs up and let me know that, yes, maybe I finally got Nightbot working. That would be awesome. I had to run to town this morning. I chose to do that at 7 a.m. this morning because I ordered groceries from Walmart because I'm too lazy to go to the grocery, and I just don't want to spend my time going to the groceries anymore. And I don't know why I get fixated on food. And the only thing I wanted was roasted red skin potatoes with sour cream, and then ended up buying other things because I had to spend $35. You have to pay a delivery fee. And so 30 minutes for my orders to be delivered, Walmart lets me know that they're out of red skin potatoes and they can't substitute them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The only thing I wanted on the order were those stupid potatoes. So I did chat them to let them know of my disappointment, and that I thought it was ridiculous. A store that size did not have any substitution for those. They ended up giving me a $10 credit, which was nice. I mean, the right thing to do, but it was just, it's like, so this morning I ran out early to charge my electric vehicle, because I do, even though we're not ever supposed to charge it, not ever, but you're really not supposed to charge electric vehicles beyond 80% charge. I do charge mine to 100% when I'm traveling up and down the mountains, and just to make sure that I'm going to have enough charge. And so I knew if I ran and did that this morning, it only takes about 20 minutes, believe it or not, on the super duper chargers. And because I have a Volkswagen gave me 3 years of charging for free on their chargers. So I wanted to make sure I ran over and used their charger so I didn't have to pay for it here. And right next door is the local Hometown Grocery that I never shop. And but it is the local, what used to be the local store. It's been since bought out since I've been here in the last couple of years. It's bought by a chain, I think out of California. And I had to laugh because when I started looking at the prices, I thought, okay, now I know why I've never been able to shop this store, because their prices are just exorbitant. And I just don't understand how, it's like how do these locals? So we have in this area, we have Walmart, we have the Safeway, and then we have the local, what's considered still the local hometown grocery. And it's just sad. It's not that I don't want to support, the smaller, but now it's a chain just like everything else. But I'm like, how do people afford this? But the nice thing is, while my car was charging, I was able to run up, pick up a few groceries. But like literally, I think I picked up 4 things, maybe 5 things. And it was $18. I was like, that's just crazy. Katrina says, Gabby says it's time for a potty break. So Gabby takes precedence. If you were on the live yesterday with Katie and I, her babies, her baby had a lot to say yesterday. So she has Dotson, and he was very vocal the entire live. It cracked me up actually because it kind of reminds me of being on Danelle sometimes, because Danelle and I can't think of the bird's name now, but her bird sometimes gets going and it just cracks me up. It's like, yeah, that's why I just can't have animals right now. I just need very secluded peace and quiet, and nothing wrong with it. I think it's adorable. It cracked me up yesterday that poor silly dog was just giving it whatnot during the live. Makes me laugh, but it also makes me go, okay, that's why you don't have animals right now. So, and I hope to again. I miss having puppy dogs, and we've talked about that before. But they are such good companions. So what else is going on? Oh, Susan says, has anyone ever gone on a quilting cruise? And by the way, just FYI, Stitch in Heaven has a bunch of quilting cruises. They do 3 or 4, I think, a year, and several of them are sold out. I am actually doing a cruise. I am doing a Virgin Atlantic cruise for Halloween, and it is going out of Miami. I am doing Virgin because Virgin doesn't allow anyone on the ship under 21, so it's an all-adult cruise. That is my bad boy time, so it is not a quilting cruise, but I'd be interested, just like you, Susan, if anyone has done a cruise and what they thought about it. I can't imagine that I'd be on a cruise ship with all the stuff that's available, that I'd want to go into one of their conference rooms, which I know a lot of them are actually windowless conference rooms. And so for the day, probably once you're in the conference room, and then you may not even notice it. And I will tell you, I have been loyal to Royal. I have been on about 14 Royal cruises. So this is my first time ever cruising on a competitor, but it was a group that is sponsoring this cruise that I wanted to go on. And I just felt like I have earned it and deserved a little time for John. And I am taking that time for me. And so, again, I would be interested to know, for me, just going to the retreat took a lot of courage. I will tell you, as much as I have my YouTube channel, as much as I love watching Russ and Sean and Ian and David and all the guys that do have channels that are out there doing this, I still get very freaked out going places as a male quilter in that. Society is just so crazy, and you just never know what people are thinking or what people have to say. It really helped me, honestly, watching Stephanie's video of Stitch in Heaven, and the fact that there were several men in her videos. So it made me feel safer doing it. And, and no one has ever said a word to me. So, part of it's my age, part of it's just perception, part of it's things that we create in our own head. All right. Wow, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I have just been running at the mouth the entire time tonight. So let me finish this row. And Susan, I see no one's responded to the quilting question. I will actually post that over on the Facebook page to see if we can get some responses in that, because I would be curious as well. Facebook page is not that large, but maybe it will generate some discussion with folks that know of folks that have gone. I will tell you one of the things that I was happy about with Stitch in Heaven. I thought for the price for what I'm getting was very, very competitive. And then, of course, they encourage you to bring your own sewing machine. I am just not flying across 4 states and carrying one of my machines. And I'm not dealing with TSA. I have enough trouble going through TSA with my name as it is. And so I just don't do anything to bring any more attention to me than I need to. And because of that, they actually do rent machines at Stitch in Heaven, and they only rent Berninas. I'm not sure which model. It looked like it was like a 770, though, from what I saw in the videos, because they have several videos posted too. But it's $50 for the entire week. And it's like, oh, listen, girlfriend, for $50, I'm getting a Bernina machine for the week. Now, is it my go-to favorite machine? No. But I have a Bernina. I've had the 770 model. I'm stitching on the 480 tonight. I know how to set up and use a Bernina. It is a reliable machine. It's a great machine. I'm not taking anything away from a Bernina. They are great machines. They're just not my first choice. My go-to anymore is the Juki. But that said, I don't think you can help for $50. Why would I go through the aggravation and the frustration of dealing with trying to carry that machine and drag it through the airport and that? It's just not. And plus, I'll be honest, I just don't think it's good for your machines. I actually have a featherweight that I need to take in and get serviced, because at some point I would like to use it, but I have not yet done that. And so that is the plan at some point to get in and do, but still, I don't even think I would take my featherweight across the country like that. So we'll see. It is actually raining up here and storming and windy. It is so crazy because down in the valley, of course, it is monsoon season, but we don't have the rain and storms like they do up here. They have had rain. I got here Friday at lunchtime, right after lunch, and I think it's rained. I think it's rained every day I've been here. So it's just so crazy. But again, it's been so nice. I've been able to go outside and sit on the screened-in porch and enjoy that. I did figure out I do want to get me a portable television to go out there, and I thought about getting one for the bedroom because I'm just used to laying in bed at night watching TV. And I found a portable TV on Amazon. It was like 18-inch for $125, but it runs off batteries and that. And I thought, you know what? That might be perfect. I can use it in the bedroom if I want, but then it's easy enough. I can pick it up and carry outside. If I was here, full time, I might look at putting, more of a television type setup out there. But again, up here, it does snow. I don't think they get a lot of accumulation, but it will snow and get icy in that up here. And as such, I'm not going to. Plus, I don't want to expense it. $125. I mean, you just can't beat that. So look at these crafters. Look at this. This is the big border that's going on. I really do like these fabrics. So it's kind of strange to know me and know how much I've been working on Christmas and Halloween. But I thought I would take the time to work on something a little bit different. All right, so tonight's pattern, what I have been working on is Daybreak. So again, it is another Villa Rosa pattern. It's a pretty simplistic pattern, but it's done with a charm pack, and that's what made kind of made me want to grab that tonight. Maize, as you know, is the sew along that I am doing on Labor Day. It can be done with a complete jelly roll, or you can cut all of your own 2.5-inch strips. You'll just need 40 2.5-inch strips if you want to do that on Labor Day with me. Melissa said, we have severe thunderstorms watch until 10, but I think Russ is under a warning. Ooh. Yeah, I will. You know, it is definitely different living east to west coast and learning all the differences in the weathers and that. Had no idea what a monsoon was. I remember standing in the office one day when I first moved here, and I looked out because it's pretty flat in Arizona, and you could see like miles away, like this huge storm. And one of the ladies in the office laughed. She goes, "That's what we call a monsoon." She said, "You see the dust storm that's coming." And I was like, "Are you really? I mean, like, are you serious?" And just totally blew me away. I had um, no idea what that kind of stuff looks like. So, hey guys, I've hit the hour. I have finished putting together my charms for this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I am like 30 followers, subscribers from 1,000. So I think that's going to happen, hopefully sooner rather than later. That's amazing. We will be doing some giveaways in that once I hit that number. So make sure that you stay in touch on the lives and that, and we'll see if we can't make some surprises happen over the next quarter, the next end of the year. But with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, happy crafting.